Hello! In this video, we will be watching the Trackmania iceberg and learning a ton of things about the history and lore of the game. If you don't know iceberg videos, they are about a certain topic and they get increasingly more obscure and unknown as you go along in the iceberg. I want to give a massive shout out to Lufok who made these videos. It's a 3-part series, it was several months of work, tons of people from the community helped him out, but still, do check out his channel, give the original video in the description tons of love, leave your comments there, and, you know, if you really enjoyed it, subscribe to his channel as well. It really helps him out, and I want to also support up-and-coming Trackmania creators alongside me. But, with that said, here's my reaction to the iceberg parts 1, 2, and 3. Yeah, I think we're gonna watch it. Lufok in chat is the guy who made it. It's part 1. Movie time with chat. If you have trouble hearing, understanding, you can find the script in the description.
When a game series has existed as long as Trackmania, its history becomes something more than simple records. Thousands of players have left their mark on all of the games, with legendary innovation, ominous myth, and perfect stories. I, Lufok, have been playing Trackmania actively since 2016. All of the things I've heard over the years have fascinated me, from community members and friends alike. And so, working together with many of them, we've tried our best to gather as many secrets as we could find and put them in one place, this iceberg. Considering the size, this will be a 3-part documentary, going through 3 layers at a time from the sky to the abyss. So without further ado, let's begin with layer 1, the sky.
The sky. I'm gonna see how many I've heard about off the top. You can maybe count yourself. Bug slides, shortcuts, Mania planet, skin horn 3D models. Hefus got this one. I'm sure people have heard this one. These are gonna be your like entry level.
The sky is the very first layer of this iceberg layer.
It's for the new people.
Information that even if you have never played the game, you probably already have heard of. Now let's begin with the explanation. Bug slide. The bug slide is one of the most well-known tricks in the game. When you land 90 degrees sideways, you can launch a so-called bug slide by pressing
I have one interesting detail to add to this.
Speed while doing a very sharp turn in the direction your car faces.
You guys know bug slides, right? This trick is now called bug slide, but it has been through a very extensive naming war, and you will find tutorials for this trick on YouTube if you search for it. The Trackmania weed slide tutorial 12 years ago. Try to explain how the weed slide works. Let's see it. Rotate the car 90 degrees on the side you want to jump in. Look at this. Looks has a striking resemblance to the bug slide. Because it eventually worked on more surfaces, the term grass slide, GS, kind of became replaced by bug slides.
Chat format tags. Trackmania allows you to customize or colorize.
These are like, you gotta know these.
Names, all using the $sign as pre.
In the old games, you had to know these to have your cool clan tags. I remember when I was young, I was on a server and I wanted to join this guy's team. $, and then like 3 values, that's a color. 888 is a color. FFF is a color. Getting sent a clan tag, I got sent my clan tag by email. And I felt like such a hacker when I put it in and I got colorful text like XLE right here.
Prefix.
Holy shit, you were cool.
From the hex code
you were like the coolest kid on the server if you had a cool clan tag.
You can only use this for map names and club tags due to there being no official nickname system.
Uberbug. The Uberbug, first found by Trackmania, is a bug which happens in the stadium environment of Trackmania. It is performed by...
I looked into the story of this. The first Uberbug I have seen is in Bay. In 2000 and... oh god, 7, 8? First Stadium Uberbugs from 2010. But this is also one of the first ones. This is a legendary one.
Is a bug which happens in the stadium environment of Trackmania. It is performed by first landing in a bug slide and having the front wheels lift on the bottom of the car while colliding with the wall.
Like it was around them that people started understanding it's actually
makes the speed of the car go very high and the car launches in some uncontrollable direction. While people aren't able to manipulate exactly where the Uberbug goes, task tools are able to manipulate its direction to great effect, allowing for extremely fast times.
Layer 2, we have new ones. Trackmania next. 2 wheels. Trackmania web game. 92 bob and no spin. Okay, there are some things that I don't think should be in this one. But yeah, we'll see.
It figures funny stories, terminologies, and some memes of the community. You will still probably already have heard of most of the information present here.
I don't know. I gotta be pretty...
2 wheels. If you are lucky enough, you can land your car in the 2-wheel position when your car is on its side. In this position, the car still moves slightly with an average speed of 1 block per hour.
For whatever reason, doing this in your Trackmania montage back in the days was like the coolest thing ever. We would sit and just wait for 2 hours if this happened. It's like, oh, okay, 2-wheel, I'm gonna go AFK 2 hours, get this replay saved for my montage, and then continue hunting.
Official runs.
Also a thing of the past.
The official run system, beginning with TMUF, is a way to obtain skill points, but not for free. In TMUF, an official run can be started in exchange for in-game currency, at which point you have 1 attempt to complete the track in the fastest time possible. Initially in TM2, you had 1 shot and an official run every 5 minutes. If you failed, you had to wait 5 real-world minutes for the next attempt.
You can practice the map for like 5 minutes. You get 1 attempt. And if you then want to go for world record, you of course take big risks. If you crash, okay, you failed your run. You have to wait 5 minutes to get another shot. In Trackmania Nations Forever, so that was Trackmania 2. In Nations Forever, it was even worse because you had to pay 10 coppers per official attempt. And you got 50 for logging in each day. If you ran out of coppers, you literally couldn't play. You would go like day to day, okay, here's my 5 daily attempts at the leaderboards. All right, now I'm poor again. Time to go play something else. Come back tomorrow for my 5 total attempts.
And the day you decided to change it and make all runs in TM2 official and therefore eligible to gain skill points with.
92 Bob.
The original action keys.
92 Bob is a mysterious player who suddenly launched to #1 on the TMUF solo leaderboards.
He's still #1, by the way. In the United leaderboards, the skill port leaderboards that we saw earlier in the video, he's a French player who played 10 years ago and then stopped for 10 years. And only started in May of 2021. After all the other cheaters finally got removed from the leaderboards, it was time for 92 Bob to claim the throne as a legitimate player.
He has no contact whatsoever with the Trackmania community, and the sudden gain in his points has led to some theories on who this player is. Due to their rise around the mid-year of 2021, 92 Bob could be the infamous player Riolu on an alternate account. This is yet unconfirmed and most likely never will be.
The one theory that is disproven is that it's like in Mario Kart they had a cheating scandal very early on where 3 players were playing on 1 account to boost that 1 account. I asked if this was happening and it's confirmed that it was not. This is a single player, but we do not know their identity. All we know is they started getting really good at the game around May 2021.
Solo leaderboards.
So yeah.
He has no contact whatsoever with the Trackmania community.
I think it's time to reveal it, guys. It was actually me. It was me all along. That's why I haven't seen so many videos since then. It's tough when I have to set daily world records to make all these videos.
Who this player is.
I'm coming clean.
In the mid-year of 2021, confirmed, but has only been putting records down since 2021.
That concludes the 2nd layer. Now, let's dive in the water to explore the reefs of the Trackmania iceberg. The 3rd layer, the surface.
The surface. Okay, we're getting, you know, beneath the surface now. The surface is up there. The water isn't real. Half trick. Freewheeling skip. I know, I would say about 90% of these. There's some I don't know the specifics. Like, let's say Bird's Block. I don't know what that is. Maybe not the full... Well, we'll see. We'll see.
At this point, beginners will start to learn new things about the game. In fact, the most
I'll help add some stuff
already behind us.
if I know anything.
Nadeo's Nadeo.
Nadeo's Nadeo! This is an amazing project. We tried to beat every single world record in 1 year. 65 records in 365 days. Really just kicked off big time in the 2nd half of the year when we realized it might be possible.
They ended up beating 56, 48 without Rioto's cheated records, out of 65 by the end of December. The remaining 9 maps that they did not manage to get were beaten in recent years, with the last one being C10, which was recently beaten this year on the 30th
Every
July
record fell in the end.
The name is a reference to Akaki's Kaki, where the goal is
but
to
these were the glory days.
Possible in a month.
That was great. Frostboiler.
Frostboiler was a Swedish Trackmania tech player. He is a world champion, winning the ESWC World Cup back in 2008, and is one of the most successful Trackmania players ever. He retired from competitive play in 2015 to focus on streaming and casting, but completely disappeared around
Unscar,
May
yeah,
2016,
Unscar.
leaving without saying anything to the community. Nobody had contact to him since.
There are so many people playing Trackmania who will go like, guys, it's been great, but I have decided to leave Trackmania behind for good. There are more important things in life than playing a racing game. I have a job, I have school, I have life to attend to. There's plenty of grass to touch out there, and I can't sit inside with you nerds all day and play this game. I'm done. Goodbye. And then 2 months later, they're back. I've written like paragraphs like saying I'm done playing this game. And then 2 months later, 1 year later, you're back. Frostbuel, to my knowledge, is one of the only players to have said, I'm gonna quit. And actually did. I sent him a message 1 year ago. And I did get in touch with him. He said, yeah, I'm just done playing now. Now we're in the deep waters. OP grass.
We are already on the 4th layer called Deep Waters. Now we enter a level of the iceberg where you have to play the game almost daily to know what you are going to hear about.
Mm-hmm. So far, I know most of them.
Big cars and one-lap multi-lap cheats. Using OpenPlanet, a Trackmania scripting tool, some players found that they could exploit the access it gives to the internal game state to cheat records. For example, the world record on TM2 Stadium 803 was beaten by Luke, who made their car giant right before the finish. This and a number of other features were carried over from the arcade game.
It's a hilarious bug. It also happened in reverse, by the way. There's a player, Scotsman, who in the middle of an endurance race just had his car shrink. So he's just playing an endurance race. And then something goes wrong.
What the fuck is happening? What's happening?
What is happening, mate? Me car's going small. Amazing.
Simply change the number of laps required to finish a map.
It's amazing.
We did not expect it to actually work, but it was sent to the leaderboards and counted as official.
That was by accident. The server just bugged.
It happened to happen on consecutive days.
Cordanis. Cordanis is Valley's first prolific, legit / non-obvious cheater who used break trick macros to take turns.
Riolu hated this guy.
Other people would need to release or break heavily.
This guy cheated in Valley, and Riolu sent so many forum threads like, you gotta remove this cheater. This guy's cheating. You have to remove him. It's so obvious. He break tricks 300 times in a D15 10-lapper. You gotta remove him. And he got so mad at Nadeo for not taking action. So many posts in this forum thread.
This was long ago, when only a select few players knew what a break trick was. Cordanis was banned after players discovered his online times were illegitimate, since they could not be validated by using the replay tool.
TM in TikTok.
Due to their satisfying nature, many press-forward maps are seen on social media like TikTok or Instagram.
I hate it.
They often feature this gameplay in the background and have some sort of text-to-speech reading out a Reddit post or something unrelated to Trackmania. The vast majority of these videos are ripped from either Alpha, Bomb4, or Yogosen's YouTube channels, and since no permission is ever given, the use of these videos is stealing. Nobody wants to see their hard work stolen.
God, that voice. God, that voice.
Trackmania Sunrise.
Trackmania doesn't run well.
On the campaign of Trackmania Sunrise,
but on console, it will be flawless.
30, which is an endurance map with 30 laps on the coast environment. The funny thing is that around the 26th lap, the Authormetal Ghost just stops and never visually finishes the map.
Oh, that's probably enough. No one's gonna notice. You know a fun story that I don't even know if it is on here? The EO5 Authormetal actually exists, and it drives all the laps. And it's a real ghost driven by Hylas. It drives all the laps. On lap 32 or something, 37, it has a big like 20-second respawn. And Hylas has told this story that this was the day before the game released. And he was so tired he'd stayed up all night. He literally fell asleep playing his own campaign map on the last day before the game came out. And that's the respawn that you see in like lap 37 of this run.
We started the last third of the dive, and information here will start to be strange. We passed the whole iceberg, and
no
the
more
abyss
iceberg.
is getting closer and closer. 438 A-0.
Still at
A-0 is
one.
the first track in Trackmania Nation ESWC and consists of a start block, an S-curve and a finish block. This track being extremely...
Yeah, this is one of the most awarded tracks in the entirety of Trackmania Nation's ESWC. So this is the most awarded maps in the game. It's the it's the fourth most awarded. And it looks like this. 400 people. And the awards are all like, bro, where's the finish?
simple, it has been considered max by the Trackmania community as a whole, with the absolute minimum time being 4.39 in all three main stadium games.
The frustrating thing is 4:38 might be possible.
In fact, the only two videos claiming to have 4.38 are
Roland actually hunted this, and he hunted it for hours. And he got a 4:39.0 something, so 4:390.
In 2021, with the release of the task tool, people started to wonder if an 8-0 run could be brute forced enough for
Imagine
it to reach
hunting
4.38.
a 4-second
People
track.
tried, and the idea was dismissed as well. But a taster named Glitched believed in a 4.38 and was probably the only one to do so. He actually managed to make an 8-0 task with a time of 4.3899993988964771.
So it is possible, but the TAS got a 4:38.9999. And by the way, look at the inputs, because you can see them on the top there. Top middle, top
He
middle.
actually managed to make an 8-0 task with a time of 4.3899993988964771, proving it possible in TMNF. The best times are all at 4.390, so the 4.38 has been theorized. Real uploads.
Oh, you can make the
down.
thumbnail change. Okay, 3. One day after the cheating report was published, a video suddenly appeared on Riolu's Clips channel. I'm hearing voices. While many were anticipating a response to the cheating allegations, the video was in fact nothing but a short clip that was scheduled to be uploaded a few days earlier. And while he never addressed the cheating scandal, the comments and likes to dislikes on this video definitely reflected what people were thinking of him at the time. I'm gonna be honest, whoever just said that is trying to copy me. Not just my type of storytelling, but literally my tonality in my voice.
For a competitive racing game, you might be under the assumption that, above all else, the timer is king. Trackmania would surprise you. The in-game timer in Team 2
It would surprise you.
tends to guess when it comes to split times.
Like, what if it guessed in a couple, like, hypothetically, what if you were in a Cup of the Day final? You're playing well. And at the finish line, so you're ahead, and at the finish line, the timer doesn't like register that you cross it before your opponent. It just gives you a random ass time that is slower than your opponent, even though you reach the finish line first. Like, hypothetically, what if that happened
You're ahead by a few
to someone? That would be
the game often
tragic.
might say you're behind nearly 100. This could be due to an overuse in rounding, but this still doesn't explain why some split times can be drastically
Get
different.
over it.
Also,
Not
if you cross a
until I
checkpoint
see
on the
no
same
copiums
1000
when I say
as the
this.
goals you're racing, the split will display a difference of your race time.
I keep seeing copiums, and I can't handle it.
Sunspinks knew.
It's all collusion.
Sunspinks was a former TMUF cheater who entered called out Riolu and Techno for cheating on TMX map comment section.
This is so funny. This comment section is crazy, right? Not only is this a comment where he says, "It's very strangely that you no record on Bay A2 Axel." His old name was Racer 01. Works Bay A2 not so good with slow motion driving. Winky face. Not only is this a comment here, but it was posted in a Trackmania Discord that a lot of the top players hang out in. And every time this was brought up, Riolu would like shut it down, like, oh, Sunspink's just some crazy old German guy. 11th of November 2020. We were talking about August cheating in slow motion, right? I don't know anyone can jitter like that. But in slow-mo, it makes sense. Tap, see where you go, adjust, see where you go, adjust. And then Edge posted this comment that he found and said, let's ask Riolu, right? So this is the comment in the video. Riolu sus, right? And Riolu goes like, ha ha ha, that guy used to hate me so much. Old German dude, by the way. Like, boys, don't listen to this guy. It's just some crazy old German guy who used to hate me.
At the time, no input extraction methods had yet been discovered. He probably
And then
didn't
I
see
went
that
to
as a
like
joke,
AO1.
since
I
during
was,
the cheating
yeah,
scandal,
I didn't
Donadigo
think more of
found
it.
out that Sunspings
Two cheaters in
cheated
screenshot,
on
yeah.
at least one of his runs by slowing down the game. Besides, his accusation started after he drove the cheated run,
Sunspings also cheated.
which was uploaded in late 2008. So maybe he called them out because he knew from his experience.
The first Trackmania World Cup happened at ESWC in 2006 in Paris. Even if we have screenshots of the events with the results, the actual footage of the final
footage of
seems
the
to
final.
be lost since it can be found on the internet. If you happen to know where we can find any footage of this final, please contact me on Discord or in the comment
Almost
section.
impossible.
It will be sad if this piece of history
The footage
was
is
lost.
found? What? Yeah, this is when Super Carl, if you ever see Super Carl Luth in Cup of the Day, he won the first World Cup. Oh my god. Oh, he crashed! Bro, they drift better in 2006 than I did in like 2015. Oh my god, he's coming back! He came back after the crash! Finish! Holy! My god, this is so cool. Very cool.
Post-apocalyptic scenario on Mania Planet and Turbo Theory, first published online by Accursed Farm and Ross Game Dungeon in their review of Trackmania 2 Canyon. Ross's theory says that there was a group of billionaires who were having a giant midlife crisis. The billionaires built an insane racetrack so they could watch their remote cars do crazy stunts, flips, etc. However, after the mega racetracks were built, an apocalypse swept across the world, leaving their automated robocars racing on these tracks. And this is the end of the iceberg.
Hey, give me that mic. Give me, guys. Listen, I'm here to tell you the real lore of Trackmania. Okay, so these games are obviously set in a post-apocalyptic future, with Trackmania Original and the environments in United Forever being the closest to reality compared to the ones that are going to come later. But if the world is lost, how are we racing? As it was told to us by the game, the engineers found a legal loophole within the laws of gravity that exempted it from such a thing. And who made the stadium? Who made it? Well, based off the signs and the architecture, we can confidently say that the stadium is, or rather was, in Japan. First, from Japan, it goes west, spreads to China with Lagoon. Then it travels north a bit, and then into the depths of Russia with Valley, before crossing over the entire European continent, over the Atlantic, and ending up in the Grand Canyon in Arizona, in the United States, which leads us to Trackmania 2, where the only car left with a driver is the stadium car. Presumably, Japan kept working on their pride and joy of the stadium, and to escape their Icarus of speed, sent the thing into outer space. That's why there's no skyline anymore. How can the drivers survive, you ask? Well, the stadium drivers are actually just wearing a highly advanced spacesuit that looks like a racing suit.
If you're scared of playing Trackmania, no, don't be scared. It's all okay. He's lying. It's just a racing game. There's nothing to be worried about.
Uncover it.
Well, as he just said, there is
Just smile and keep playing.
Because, well, I lied when I said it was the last layer. Let me introduce you to the truly last layer, and for real this time.
The last layer?
Welcome to the Void.
What?
Before going any further, let's do a small disclaimer. Everything shown here has been validated by trustworthy sources on the matter who will remain
Anonymous. Okay.
Trackmania and Hot Wheels crossover. Back in 2016, Hot Wheels asked several game studios to develop a racing game which featured their toy cars. These very high resolution map thumbnails suggest that Nadio tried their hand at this request, integrating a Hot Wheels-like track into the Valley environment. In the end, Hot Wheels collaborated with Forza Horizon 3, and Nadio...
We got friend-zoned! We got friend-zoned because Forza was better.
Never commented on the matter. This time, it's actually finished. You have made it to the ocean floor with the crushing weight of all this information on your shoulders.
Well, that was interesting.
And now, when part 4 you might say? Well, I will release a full-length iceberg video that will contain all the corrected parts of this trilogy in one big video sometime after this video, but I don't know when.
That's very
yet.
cool, guys.
That being said, thank you for watching this whole iceberg. As always, if you have any question, feel free to ask them in the comments. We'll be here to answer you. Feel free to subscribe to not miss the next project planned for this channel.
Subscribe to Lufox's channel. Leave a comment. It really helps. We just watched Lufox's entire 55-minute video. I can tell you a 55-minute video takes a month to make. It is so much editing. Please, 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 if you enjoyed it, check out some of his other videos too. Please. Please. They're great. And subscribe. And like the video, like I just did.